I am honored to introduce this year's commencement speaker, Scott Wrobbel. Decades have passed since Scott, an Oconomowoc resident, turned his tassel and earned his degree, but UW-Whitewater has always been close to his heart. While he was an accounting student here, he made a long-term impact by serving as one of the founding members of the campus chapter of Beta Alpha Psi, the International Scholastic and Professional Organization for Financial Information Students. He earned a Bachelor of Business Administration in Accounting in 1980 and was in a position to interview with multiple firms and have multiple job offers. Scott went on to a fulfilling career, initially with Arthur Andersen, before joining Deloitte as a partner in 2002. His work at Deloitte included a variety of roles, serving many publicly traded and privately held companies, and becoming a vice chair and the U.S. Central Region Managing Partner. From 1996 to 2008, he served on the UW-Whitewater Foundation Board of Directors, where he was a treasurer for a number of those years. In 2013, he received the Distinguished Alumni Award for Professional Achievement. He has held board and leadership positions at a number of organizations, including the Children's Wisconsin Foundation, United Way, Boys and Girls Club, Junior Achievement of Wisconsin, and the Andalusia Foundation. Scott retired from Deloitte in 2021 and now serves on the board of directors of American Family Insurance, Johnson Financial Group, and Northwestern Mutual Wealth Management. In 2013, the Wisconsin Institute of Certified Public Accountants named him the winner of its Distinguished Career Award. We are so thrilled that he's back on campus today. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Scott Wrobbel.
Thank you, Katie, for that very kind introduction. Good morning, everyone. To Chancellor King, distinguished faculty and staff, proud parents, family members, and friends, thank you for the honor of spending this memorable day with you. Most importantly, congratulations to the graduates of the class of 2024. Let's give them another big round of applause. Well deserved. Congratulations. I am delighted to be back in Whitewater. When I was asked a few months ago to provide some remarks at this morning's commencement, I quickly and humbly said yes. While it was over 4 decades ago that I sat out there in the UW-Whitewater graduation audience, I still have many fond memories of the time I spent here. As I thought about today over the last few months, I reflected on many things that I experienced during my 4 years here, as well as numerous other times that I returned in the following years for recruitment of graduates, UW-Whitewater Foundation Board meetings, sporting events, and to visit my children who also attended the university. It was with that nostalgic memory in mind that I decided to prepare today's remarks as if I was still in school. So, last night, after watching way too much TV, at about 10:30, I pounded down 2 cups of Starbucks coffee, opened my computer browser, searched for famous commencement speeches, got some content, and then I asked ChatGPT to author a 10-minute speech. So, fingers crossed everything goes well. Seriously, it is an absolute honor for me to be here today. During my recent reflections, I realized that when I first arrived on campus, I was a young 18-year-old kid who grew up on the northwest side of Milwaukee, along with a few years in Brookfield. Like each of today's graduates, my world expanded tremendously as I grew in many ways during my time here. It was here that I met my wife, Jean. Hi, hon, where are you? Oh, over there. Very nice. Made lifelong friends, had the benefit from learning from outstanding faculty, But most of all, learned about commitment, dedication, effort, and the broader aspects of life. Like all of you fellow Warhawks, the degree that I earned here set the foundation and springboard for my path forward in life. The path forward for each of you begins tomorrow. I can assure you, it will be an amazing journey down that path. The path is very wide, but it will not follow a straight line. The journey that each of you take down that path will be unique, just as each of you is unique. Some of you will continue your education. Others will enter a field of service. You'll start your own business, work for an employer, etc. The options are numerous. The beauty is that you will have many opportunities, and you need to follow the path that is the best fit for the aspirations and passions that you have. Based on my experiences, I would like to provide you with a few observations as you begin the journey down that path. First, know that you are very well prepared. The faculty at this university, along with the countless hours that you have put in to earn your degree, has you ready for the next steps. Be confident and trust your instincts in whatever you do. I can tell you that for many years of recruiting college graduates, that your degree from UW-Whitewater will allow you to compete with anyone. Don't ever forget that. Of course, you'll run across others that will have an education bias, especially those from graduates from larger or nationally known universities. But don't worry. Once you begin your career, employers do not care where you're from. You are all starting at the same point, the ground floor on day one, and what matters is how you perform from that point forward. While your UW-Whitewater degree will provide you with a great foundation, don't take anything for granted. Continue to work hard. Have a lifelong approach to learning, and strive to make those things that you can control even better. Looking for ways to continuously improve has always provided me with some energy, and I think it will for you too. Whatever you do, never settle for just good enough. Second, know that the path that you embark upon tomorrow does not need to be crystal clear at this point. That is absolutely okay. I was never a great personal goal setter. In fact, I dreaded the question from recruiters and leaders about, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I dreaded it because I wanted to have numerous options to explore. While I didn't set rigid goals, I did have aspirational ideas in my mind that always drove me. As I gained more experience, the next career steps became clearer. I believed that having an open and inquisitive mind allowed me to seek out new opportunities. I am not suggesting that you should be rudderless, but find a career development approach that is comfortable for you. Find and explore the areas of your profession that you are passionate about. Finding that sweet spot will make what you eventually do every day exciting and rewarding, not simply work. After that, be tenacious and persistent in whatever you do. And don't go it alone. Have life conversations with mentors, sponsors, or others that you trust. Those can be colleagues, friends, or family members. Obtain open and candid feedback from those you trust so you can make clear decisions. View constructive feedback as a blessing, not a criticism. Embrace it and be better for it. Thirdly, know that that future path will be full of bumps and turns. Life comes at us very fast and things can change in a hurry. Some of these events are controllable by each of us, while others are not, like a global pandemic such as COVID-19. That may sound concerning, But if you manage the difficulties that you encounter, you will be stronger for it. In my case, an uncontrollable life event related to the fallout from the Enron fraud scandal 22 years ago. Many of you have likely studied the Enron fraud in your classwork. My first employer, Arthur Andersen Company, served as the auditors of Houston-based Enron Corporation. The Andersen firm was built on honesty and integrity and had the tagline, "Think straight, talk straight." However, the Enron executives used very detailed and questionable accounting practices to commit securities fraud. The fraud was not detected during the audit performed by my Andersen colleagues in Houston serving the account. Andersen was ultimately sanctioned by the Department of Justice and the Securities and Exchange Commission. This led to a reputational loss of trust, the exit of many clients, and the eventual collapse of the firm. Nearly 100,000 people were unemployed, and partners like me lost all of their capital, retirement benefits, and stood the risk of personal liabilities stemming from Enron litigation. The partners and employees in each Andersen office around the globe were left on their own to find a new employer because no single other firm wanted to take on the full potential burden of the Enron litigation claims. Along with other colleagues, I joined Deloitte in 2002 and needed to build our client base to support ourselves. Shortly thereafter, I began to see a silver lining to this unexpected mess that occurred in the prime of my career. Our local clients were incredibly loyal because of the trust and relationships that had been built over the years. They did not understand why the problems in Houston had brought down the entire firm. I had several client CEOs tell me, "Whichever firm you are going to, that is where we are going." That is something that I will never forget. Deloitte was incredibly welcoming to me and my colleagues and allowed us to be accepted as partners. The change in firms for me also allowed it for the opportunity to serve in national and regional leadership roles that I may not have experienced at Andersen. In many regards, living through that difficult experience made me stronger. It taught me to stay calm during adversity. It reminded me to show kindness and respect to others. And it helped me develop a steady hand of leadership that could help others succeed. As Vince Lombardi, the legendary Green Bay Packers football coach once said, "We are all going to get knocked down. It's whether we get back up again that matters." When you hit a bump, don't let it get you down for too long. Yes, disappointment stings, but don't dwell on it, and don't feel sorry for yourself. It may not feel good while you're dealing with it, but I am sure you will eventually be better and stronger as the result of your experience. Lastly, embrace change. When I began speaking today, I joked about using the internet and artificial intelligence. When I was studying at UW-Whitewater, personal computers didn't even exist, much less the internet, smartphone apps, and AI. We are now in the fourth industrial revolution, or the technology revolution. Technology is rapidly changing our lives. It has been said that we won't experience 100 years of technological progression in the 21st century, but rather the equivalent of 20,000 years of progress during that period. Needless to say, the world is changing faster than ever. Be willing to adapt to these transformative changes that lie ahead for you. We are in a golden era of rapidly changing technologies that will actually help you find your calling in life. These changes may take you out of your comfort zone, but the key is to continually adapt and change your path if necessary. Always work hard and don't be afraid to fail by trying something new. In fact, when developing new strategies or offerings, Many companies embrace failing fast in order to experiment with creative ideas. Learn from any failure and move on. While I can't predict what will lie ahead in terms of technological advances, I can tell you, don't resist such change. Embrace it and be inquisitive. It will be a very interesting ride, an exciting future for you. Most of all, be sure to enjoy all aspects of your life. Remember what is important in the world that surrounds you, especially your family and your friends. Take time to enjoy others and celebrate your accomplishments, beginning this afternoon. Try to make this world a better place, where you can control a better place. Give back and pay it forward to others whenever you have the opportunity to do so. So, in summary, work hard, be kind, and amazing things will happen to you during your lifetime. I wish that to each and every one of you. Congratulations, graduates, and best wishes on your journey. Go Warhawks! Thank you.